Market recap Friday, the 12th of June 2026. Today's kind of sad. I got scammed twice, you know. I know the buyers, I know what's going on, but we just got scammed. You can't do anything about it, and it is what it is. Happens. Anyway, coming into the daily, right? Yesterday's close closes above this supposed what it could have been an inversion, and because it didn't treat it as an inversion, well, we know that today should be bullish, right? Because we're not bearish anymore. We're looking for a certain target, either the midpoint of this wick, the high, whatever, right? We're looking, and I presume it's the high, to try to take people that are early shorts, potentially, right? And then next week could continue lower. If not, we actually just close above this, then we're back to all-time highs, which is boring. But yeah, so daily bullish, right? 4 hour we can see the same thing. The big SIBI that sent us down, we closed above it, so we could treat this as an inversion for the value gap, right? And we're expecting sensitivity. I'm mainly looking at this 4 hour busy, right, to hold us, because I don't want anything lower than that. And then that would make me think, okay, we're making relative equal highs for like Monday's price action or something like that. So need to rule that scenario. So I'm watching this to hold us, right? So again, bullish on the 4 hour, same thing, right? You can see busy above, right? This is a balanced price range, so we don't need to care about it. And I just have these sell sides in case anything changes in the market structure, but I'm not looking for them. The only ones that I was looking at really, it was the London low and our initial low. And to be fair, I expected London low to be kept intact, right? Or maybe one of the assets. What do you call it? ES or something, right? That takes the London low, and then we can go higher to our initial liquidity, which is the obvious drawn liquidity. And on top of that, if we're feeling extra, we can go for Tuesday's high, right? So everything is saying bullish, so I'm not looking for shorts. So how did I get scammed? Alright, market opens, we dump straight into our initial liquidity. Perfect, right? Because this leg is made this way, you should always expect it to go all the way up, fail, and then come back all the way down. And in this case, we have our first inversion fair value gap, or you could look at it as the gauntlet or whatever, right? And most times, right, let's see, where is it? 940 candle. I'm out here putting my limit order at 939, right? I'm just setting up the limit order, the stop loss, the TP, whatever. And then in 1 second, we have like some random war news. It's just straight manipulation. I can't remember what it was. Someone came at exactly 940, and this candle from this high went all the way to this low in 1 second. Okay, it filled me in my limit order when I didn't want it to fill me in my limit order like that. I was just setting up, just saying like how much the stop loss, how much the TP would be, blah blah blah. Should I limit order? I would wait for price. You don't expect a 1 second candle to be like boom, done. So I got scammed and instantly hit the stop loss, right, with the next candle. I'm like, bro, at this point I'm already in it. It is what it is. If it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss, I don't care. But with that type of news, if it's a scam, well, they can go for something more. And what's that something more? Well, why not just take the London low? So I knew I got scammed. Per my rules, right? This is just me one and done. But because I got scammed, I was like, you know what? I'll enter on another account with like the smallest risk possible. So I waited patiently for this to be confirmed. I'm waiting for this small one to be a breaker block. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you want to use, to, open CSD, whatever, right? Whatever it is, just know that this would have been the low most of the time, but because we have volatility now, we could just basically get scammed. So why not? And I'm just now waiting for this BS, and I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to like actually go, and I put my limit order. Once we hit our first inversion for a value gap, because I'm expecting a reaction lower, to give my limit order. It comes like one tick away from it and then goes higher, and I'm like, bro, don't tell me it's gonna like miss me. And because when I looked on the NQ, it actually hit it. I'm like, oh my god. I'll come back, market order, and it was here. It fills me here and then goes all the way down here in like 2 seconds. It was just insane amount of scam. Right, the fill was insane. I'm like, bro. Anyway, stop loss at the low, the break, and then let it run. It's basically like, I know this is a scam leg, so nothing changes, and I'm expecting these highs. So cool. Who would have thought it would break away above the first presented and then go, if I'm like, I didn't lose this scam trade, and that's why I say 940. But now I'm gonna limit it to like, I can't even put the limit until the 941 candle prints, like I would be that strict. Because I'm telling you, the first 10 minutes you could get scammed so many times that I'd just rather not. So 941 from now until I can even put the limit order, because the scams are getting absurd these days. I thought we're done with this war stuff, but it is what it is. Anyway, um, we break away above our first presented. I would have added on this order block any time of the day, but like I said, I'm trying to follow the rules, and because this trade is not really meant to be taken, but because I got scammed and everything's still right, I'm taking it on like the minimum size possible, so I can't add. And then we go all the way up here, right? Because of my garbage fill, like I knew worst case, I'm telling you, like worst case scenario. What would happen if the market said, you know what, let's make relative equal highs and come back lower? It wouldn't go below first presented fair value gap. I know that, right? Because I know that, I was like, you know what, I'm not, I can't move my stop loss, right? Because a scammy day will always be a scammy day, right? Like I knew they would most likely will come back, maximum places first presented. Because my fill was literally right here, like just a tick below the low. It was like right there. This candle comes all the way back down. I thought it was safe, right? Because like, it's not gonna close below it. I know it's not gonna close below it. It takes me out by one tick, and then scammer get scammed type of activity, and then it's just gone, right? Straight to the TP, and probably gonna hit the rest of the TPs I'm expecting. So it's just annoying, right? Um, I think today was just a test of patience, right? It was generally a test of my patience. And oh, bro, anytime me before, I would have probably tried to enter here, be like, nah, nah, I'm getting scammed. I would buy this, and this candle would start going down. I'm like, oh, no, no, I'm wrong. I close it, they take it short, and then, revenge trade to doom. Switch my whole bias to like all the lows or something. Nah, I'm done, right? I was done here, but this was just too good to not take. I had to take on the minimus risk. Should I closed early? Maybe. I wasn't watching price, so like that's one gap here. Would I expect it to come all the way down to here? Not really. But if I was watching it then and seeing them engineering these lows, then yes. But you know, I regardless would have thought I would be safe, because I would have expected even the wick to just tap the high midpoint, right? And it was like be there. I knew it would be way too close, but like, bro, I got scammed by one tick. It happens, bro. I can't lose my head over it, The whole week was green except this day, and it's a minimal loss, right? It doesn't even doesn't even equate to anything, right? It's like taking 300 out of 4K. It's 3.7. Wow. And it's nothing crazy. But it's just annoying, right? It is just annoying because it could have been green week the whole week. To be fair, it could have been a green week if I took profit, but I just know this is guaranteed for today. It's just the fact that I didn't see this coming that far. And even if I seen it coming, I was like, you know what? Even if it wanted to come discount, because I seen it and I had to go do something, I was like, you know what? At least let's, this fair value gap, this order block, within this discount, hold it down. I don't want it to go to the rejection block, right? And it does it to the tick, which was my stop loss to the tick, right? And why was it my stop loss to the tick? Because it was my break even, right? And because of the scam fill. And if it's my break even, I got my rules. There is no way, no way, no way that a trade went in profit in whatever amount, right? That I think is like, okay, that's it. That I have to let it take me in a loss, right? And that was one of my problems before. I would marry the idea so much, right? That yes, we're gonna go take these highs, blah blah blah. There's just no way, no way we come back lower. Even if we come back lower, it's a scam, whatever. And we're going higher. I learned that the hard way that sometimes it could look like this, everything could be perfect, but there could be some sort of news or something that happens where it just changes the whole market structure. And me marrying the idea would make me like move my stop loss all the way back to the low. And then when it starts approaching the low, and I'm like, oh shit, it's just trying to sweep the whole, I've been making stuff up. And then before you know it, the account is blown because I just can't close my exit. And that's why I get stopped at break even. It's annoying, yes, but is it the right thing to do? Absolutely. Was it the right thing to do to not enter the trade again? Yes, absolutely. I don't care what anyone says because if okay, let's say for example that was my first trade and I got scammed. It's break even. Sure, I would have entered here. I would have tried to enter here while I was going up, but this one done it in like 2 seconds, right? Like it went up from here to here. I knew this would make it a balanced price range, so I would get like an entry here, expecting this to just stay open. But because I already had my two trades, like I said, one loss, one break even, that's it. I can't risk another loss for a day, right? Because like if it's a scammy day, there's other days that are clean, like all the rest of this week is clean. So let me just, save the capital. Don't bother with like garbage garbage trade, right? Because at this point, um, like let's say I take this one. This is only 131 points away from like initial TP, right? My trades need to be at least this far, right? As in, it doesn't have to be in points wise, but like structure wise, where it's worth it, right? It's not somewhat with low probability because if they wanted to, they could have scammed it again. They could really do anything, and specifically today that there's like a lot of news coming up and okay. So the second scam, okay, is just a bunch of scams. I did this little thingy was from another scam as well. Great. So news. What can you do? And I can just watch it go to the TPs. Anyway, that's the market recap. I know I sound like a bit pissed, but I'm not really that much, right? Because it's a minor loss. I wanted a nice 4 out of 4 week. I didn't get it, but at least we got 3 out of 4. It can't be too bad, and I'm happy that for once, because I was always put in this situation, and I would tend to break the rules, but for this time, I didn't, and I'm happy seeing it hit straight to the TP that I wanted. I mean, I'm not happy seeing it, but I don't care, right? Because I know that I finally got the skill. Well, I had the skill from before, but now I have the discipline to follow the rules. And ultimately, in few months, that means printing like there's no tomorrow. I'm coming here to like melt this whole thing. Mark my words. Anyway, that's the market recap. Peace out.